Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US. And I'm here to bring you a live, excuse me, a live paper crafting class here on YouTube. It is Wednesday, already September 3rd, 2025 at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm coming to you live. Forgive me, I have not cleared my throat yet today, I guess. I'm gonna put my water aside, I think I'm good. Today, I am sharing some cards with you that I literally made yesterday. Like, I'm kind of winging it in a way. We had a very filled weekend for Labor Day weekend here. And then all of a sudden, one of our days turned into something that we didn't anticipate. And so I didn't have the time to create that I thought I would. So please forgive me, but we're going to play today, okay? I've got 3 cards that I'm going to share with you and one that I'll walk you through, and then I'll give you tips on the other ones. But I don't have a blog post connected to this video. I literally just put the description in the last maybe 15 minutes. So forgive me, Trisha, my moderator, Trisha. Please welcome her, by the way. She's here to help us out. But that description includes links to the products that I'll be using. It doesn't include links to some of the specific non-Stampin' Up! Products, but most of those you can find in my favorite extras. So let's go down to the desktop. I think we're going to start there. Excuse me. Oh my goodness sakes. I may have to get some water, you guys. I have some here. Hang on. I'm going to tape something down. That's my blog, by the way, if you have not visited my website. I'm very disorganized today, but that is my website if you want to come check out things that I share. A lot of things that I share, including videos like this, are usually posted to my blog, but I'm not sure if I will get to that right away. Okay, we're gonna have a water break because we are just really, really scratchy today. You couldn't access my website this morning. You know what? I couldn't either. Debbie, it was so, and then that was another thing, like the new catalog. Oh, I need to show that to you. The new catalog and some new online exclusives and new kits, they went live today. And so I am trying to get into my blog so that I can edit it and add even just the catalog. I was going to add the start of my blog post, and I couldn't edit it until like an hour before I went live. So that was another thing. I just threw my hands up in the air, you guys. Literally threw my hands up in the air, and I'm like, I give up. So it's just been that way for like the last 4 months. I swear, you guys, I always have some excuse, but they are valid excuses. We went on Monday to visit my mother-in-law, my mom-in-law, who is not doing so well and is now in hospice. And that is kind of what threw off my preparations for today. But I know you guys are very understanding people, and you will forgive me for not having a blog post connected to this or being as organized as I usually am. So sorry about that. This is the mini catalog. Inside are about half of the products that went live today. So today is the 3rd. Yep. So on the backs of publications, because people ask me this all the time, when does the catalog start? On the back of any publication in fine print, you will find the dates for the length of time that a publication is valid. And this one is September 3rd through January 5th, okay? So that is when the catalog begins and stops, and inside you'll find lots of fun products, you'll find lots of examples. This catalog is now linked, the digital version is now linked in the catalog section of my website. So again, if you go to StampYourArtOut.com, click on shop, go to catalogs, you'll be able to access the digital version of this catalog, along with the digital version of our annual catalog, which runs, and I think it was May 6th through May 4th of this next coming year, okay? And we also have some online exclusive products, so that's why I'm saying half the products, but there's probably much more in the mini catalog. But anyways, then we also had a bunch of online exclusive products debut today. So you'll be able to check those out if you go to the shop tab. So let's go really quickly because I want to share this with you, and then we're going to get to creating, okay? So when you're at my website, and oh my gosh, I don't even have my screen ready. There we go. Okay, when you're on my website at StampYourArtOut.com, there is a shop button for shopping the online store. When you're there, right away there's gonna be a banner that talks about new products. There you see it, right? So you can click on there to see what's new. You can also go under specials. No, it's not gonna be there. It's under the what's new tab. There's a tab underneath my head that says what's new. You're just gonna click on that and you can click on new arrivals. You can click on the mini catalog. You can also find out more about World Card Making Day, which you see a banner for right now. World Card Making Day is coming up. So, okay, so lots of good news. Lots of fun things are starting today. And let's begin, shall we? I'm going to bring in my glass mat. It's been a while since I've had my glass mat in here. But what I have on my glass mat is this media grip. And this is from Tim Holtz. It's a Tim Holtz product. You'll find that in my favorite extras. I love using this. I kind of wish Stampin' Up! Had something similar. But what it's great for is when you have a piece of cardstock that you want to do something on, you can put it on top and it literally will not move around on you. Like I'm pressing down onto the paper, but the grip behind it is holding it. So it's kind of like having temporary tape behind it, and it's really great to work with it. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Yes, she has, it's been about a year that she has been in an assisted living situation and then moved to like getting help with memory care. She has dementia with Lewy bodies. And so it's getting to that point now. And yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see your loved ones go downhill, isn't it? She's a wonderful person. We will miss her. Okay, so we're gonna do happy thoughts now. But thank you for your sweet words, you guys. We're gonna go ahead and work with this piece of cardstock, and this piece of cardstock measures 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So it's just under the size that you would use on a card layer. And I think before we actually use the glass mat, I'm going to put this aside for a minute. We're going to bring in just a scrap of grid paper because I want to keep this one clean. Multiple grid papers, it's a good thing. And we're going to bring in the stamps. Let's do that. So we're going to work with the stamps first. And I'm working with 3 different stamp sets today, but for this first card, I'm working with Branching Out. It's a newly released stamp set. It does have some coordinating dies. Let me share those with you. They look like this. I did not put this in the supply list because we won't be using them, but you can order these 2 items together and then you save 10%. It's called a bundle. So the Branching Out dies and the Branching Out stamp set. You can see that this die set alone, you would want to get. Like, it's perfect because of these layering shapes dies, right? And then you have a few little accent pieces that coordinate with the set. The set alone is wonderful because you have not just like hints of holiday sentiments like, let's see here. Thinking of you brings joy to my heart. I mean, joy typically around the holidays, right? Or what's another one? I thought there was another one. Wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. I mean, that could be birthday, right? So it looks like it's wintry, but it's kind of all around, like any time of year kind of sentiments, right? So it's a great bundle is what I'm telling you. Okay, we're gonna use the large branch, and I love this stamp set because it's perfect for silhouette stamping. And what do I mean by silhouette stamping? I mean, when you stamp something in black, as if it's a shadow, as if it's an outline of something, you don't see through it. You can see in and around the parts and pieces as if light is shining through. But itself, like a branch or a leaf that's solid or something like that, is considered a silhouette when stamped in black, right? I'm going to turn this over instead. That way we can make sure we're getting all the parts. Okay, so we've inked it up, and now we're going to stamp it down. I'm going to peek at my finished one just to make sure I'm getting it kind of close, because we like to make our projects look pretty similar to the ones that we photograph. Right, Rachel? Yes, that's right. Okay, so we're stamping our branch down, and already your card could be turned like this way, or even, you know, one of the other directions, because branches can really come out from anywhere, right? And then we're going to take and stamp these cluster of like little You know what, I love foliage, but I don't know all the names of it. But these are like, you know, fir tree kind of things, right? I don't know if you'd even call these leaves, but they are so pretty when stamped in a little cluster like this. We're gonna stamp some there around that end of the branch. And I think I also stamped a few here. And possibly stamped this one more time up in here. Okay, so some of them look like they're floating a little bit. That's okay. And then I've got this single one that I can stamp. There's also another one that's like a cluster of 3, but they're wider. And I think they fit better with, there's another branch image in there. Then we can just fill in. So we can take and stamp this so it's connected in such a way to the other parts of the branch. You can overlap. It's totally fine to overlap. We're gonna put one here, and then I think we'll stick one like right up through in here. Oh, and then I didn't stamp it down completely. Let's see if we can clean that up. That's pretty close. It's a silhouette, and I think that's good. But now what I wanna do, and I'm gonna zoom in just a bit here so you can see things closer. Now what I wanna do is I want to mask. So masking is the other thing that I wanted to bring out because that's the thing that all 3 of these cards have in common. Hi, Joanne from Coon Rapids. All of these cards have masking in common. And the masking can be done with sticky notes. It can be done with like super large sticky notes. I got these on Amazon. They're awesome. They're like 6 inches long this way. But we also have a product called masking paper, Stampin' Up! Masking paper. You can die cut from it. Here you can see there's a cloud that was die cut from this piece. You can cut it into strips. You can even, oops, as I'm dropping things on the floor, you can even take and punch through it. If you're gonna punch through it though, I recommend putting a paper layer underneath. So I just have like a scrap of Stampin' Up! Paper. And I'm gonna take my punch. I've got a 2-inch circle punch here. I'm gonna open up, insert, and when you have paper underneath, it makes it a little bit firmer. Otherwise, what happens sometimes, and I can show you maybe, I'm gonna show you on this little scrap here. So you see how it kind of like puckers there? There's like a little puckering. Now, even if I had this whole piece in there, there'd be parts that would be puckering and it just doesn't punch as well. So I always say, when you're gonna punch through something thin, you wanna have another layer under it. Whether you're punching through like typing paper or masking paper or a Post-it note, just put another layer underneath it. Make it a little bit thicker so that the blades on the punch don't make too much damage. Another thing with masking is that you can reuse them. All right, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna take and put this piece on here, and I'm just gonna use my imperial measurements, my inches, on my grid paper to go and line this up at about 1/2 inch. I'm not getting that on there evenly, am I? There we go. It's about 1/2 inch up from the bottom. And now I'm gonna press it into place. So I have my masking paper, which I'm reusing on my paper here, okay? Now we put this onto this grippy paper. This is optional. You don't have to use this. You could just hold on to it with your fingers. And as you're using your blending brush in one place, just hold in another place while you're using your blending brush. So we're gonna use blending brushes and daubers to do a bit of coloring here. And I think we're gonna start with one of my favorite blues, which you can see already is on the masking paper. It's Azure Afternoon, okay? Thank you, Tony, for your empathy. Hello, Evelyn, all the way from Germany, yay! Okay, and then we're gonna use a blending brush. I have 2 different size blending brushes that I love to use, obviously. They have advantages and disadvantages for both. The larger covers more surface area, but the smaller ones, which I'll show you soon, they can get into like tinier spots and stuff easier. So we're just inking this up, and then I'm gonna use my scrap paper off to the side to make sure it's not so intense right away. And then I'm just gonna go on here and start adding my ink. And you can see I'm doing this one-handed, and the paper is not moving. It's so awesome. And any ink that goes off the edges just stays on that cleanable surface of the grip paper. I think we'll just do blue throughout here really close. And I'm going in a circular motion. I tend to go counterclockwise just because that's the way my hand works, but you can go in any direction, but circular motions make that ink a lot softer looking. And then we'll go below. So we'll do some blue down here. So you can see as I'm doing this, there's like a haze where the color gets lighter. And where the color gets lighter allows you to blend in with, say, another color if you'd like to. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna switch colors soon. Let me just do a little bit more through here. So, it's so nice to see all of you chime in, by the way. You can't do that, otherwise you leave fingerprints. Are you talking about like if you put your hand on it? So I have dry hands. And if you have moist hands, that makes sense. Like if you're somebody who tends to sweat through your I never even sweat. It's so weird. I hate it, actually. I want to be moister. But yeah, if I press on my paper, I don't leave fingerprints hardly ever. But if you're somebody who leaves fingerprints, this is a great tool for you so you don't have to touch that paper and have that issue, right? Okay, we're going to switch to another color. We're going to switch to Blueberry Bushel next. So I'm grabbing my container with the Blueberry Bushel brush. We'll open that pad up. And we'll do the same thing where we're inking it up, just kind of, oh gosh, yeah, we can go straight on with this one because that one's not so intense. And as we add this color, you can see it's a darker blue and it's kind of working with the lighter blue, but now it's like the night sky is getting more intense as we go up higher. So it's almost like the sunset happened. And now the sky is getting darker and darker, but not quite dark towards the horizon yet. Okay, so we're going to keep on doing this with 3 colors. And you can use even more colors than that. If you wanted to, you could add, you know, like some reds and some blackberry and things like that. I'm only using Gorgeous Grape, Azure Afternoon, and Blueberry Bushel. And you can even continue to do like over and over and over until it gets super dark because that black will still stand out. It is amazing to see the finished process. We're going to go down here with a bit of color in the corners. And see how there's like ink on top of the actual grip pad? That ink is not going to like, it's not going to soak in. So you actually have ink that you can continue working with, just like if you were working on the glass mat by itself. And then I think we're going to switch to our purple because we got some good intense color in here now. We'll close up that pad. Make sure that your pad is closed all the way when you put it away because you don't want any air getting in there. We're going to work with Gorgeous Grape next. Gorgeous Grape and Blueberry Bushel both come from the same family of colors. They are from the Regals, and then Azure Afternoon is from the Brights. Ooh, that is good purple. So pretty. So we're adding that into the upper part of the sky, but we're adding it real intensely. Like I want a lot of this purple in there. We're gonna actually dip in through here a bit, add some reddish tones from the purple in through this area. We'll do some along the bottom just because, why not? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add more blue on top of it in the upper portion, just to make it more of a bluish purple. And I'm going fast now, getting a little sloppy, but you get the idea. And then we're gonna do our Blueberry Bushel one more time. And I think what I'm gonna do, because we're doing a slightly lighter color, as I'm just taking off some of that purple around there, we'll switch back to our blueberry bushel. Did you see that? I licked the Kleenex, you guys. That's okay. So now we'll blue it up a bit. Oh, that looks so pretty, doesn't it? Okay, now we're gonna stamp some more. So we're gonna take our branch and we'll just call those pine needles. I don't know what they are. We're gonna take those and we're gonna go back to our Azure Afternoon, our lightest of the blues, and clean off these stamps first. Let me grab my cleanup pad. This one's a little bit more intense with the purple than my finished sample, but that's okay. I'm spraying some of this Stampin' Mist cleaner onto my cleanup pad, which has two sides to it. So I have a wash it and a dry it side. You can also clean your stamps with Stampin' Chamois, with just a damp washcloth, baby wipes that are unscented. Okay, so I have all of those stamps clean. Now I'm gonna come back in with the branch in the Azure Afternoon, and we're gonna stamp kind of a little branch floating up through here. I think I have it mostly like that. See, the ink, even though it's on here, it's not soaking in, so that's pretty cool. And then we will do another branch down here, and I think I'm gonna stamp it maybe like that. A little different than the one I did on my finished sample, but I want more branch. Then I'll use these guys. What did we call them? Pine needle fir tree leaves. It is kind of Aurora Borealis, yes. I love it. Okay, and then we'll stamp these in here in little spots. And the nice thing about the lighter color is it almost is like a shadowy kind of, do you see me? You don't really see me, you kind of see me, kind of imagery, right? This one, I'm gonna do just a floating one up here as if it's connected to a branch outside. And then we'll do something down here and maybe something, I don't know, down there. Okay, so we're gonna peel, oh, we're not gonna peel that away yet. Hang on, we have a little bit more. That masking paper needs to stay there until you absolutely don't want it anymore. And we don't absolutely not want it yet. We want to put on some splatters. We're gonna do a couple splatters. Now you've seen me do the Wink of Stella pen before, and I love using it with my bone folder because my bone folder allows me to really tap hard. So we're gonna take the cap off and we're gonna do a little bit of speckly sparkles. And I don't know if you can see it. I'm hoping with the darker color that you'll be able to see this a lot more than when I've done it on lighter colors before. And I will angle it, I'll bring it up and I'll angle it soon. But we're also gonna add some white ink. And so I'm bringing in the white pigment ink. This is, I think they still call it Whisper White Pigment ink when you're shopping for it. I have a little cup here with a cap on it that I kept on there overnight, and then I added just a little bit more water to it. There's no real right or wrong. It depends on how big you want your splatters, depends on how much ink you want to use up, but I'm just dropping a little tiny puddle of craft ink. This is pigment ink into that container. And then I'll use a paintbrush. And by the way, our water painters, which I'm using right now, came back today. They're in the online store, you guys. So this is very watery, and I think I'm just gonna go with it. But we're gonna do it on scrap paper first so we can test it out. So we'll just open this up to some scraps that I used while creating the cards so that you can see them better. And we will tap against that bone folder again, wherever I put it. Here it is. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a good size speckle. Do you see that on the purple there? There's tiny little white dots there. So as long as I don't tap too hard, and you know what, I'm going to show you this first. Can you see if I tip? Oh yeah, there you go. Oh yay! We just have to tip to the right. I'm always tipping to the left. Can you see? That's the Wink of Stella speckles. So those are like metallic-y, sparkly speckles. And this will just give it more speckles, but they'll be whiter. So they won't be necessarily sparkly. They'll just brighten here and there. And this is a good effect to do if you want to do snow in the winter or, you know, anything like that. Now, the bigger the speckles that you have on here, the more they'll show up. But the white will tend to kind of just soften the color that's underneath it. And it'll make it like, the purple will look like more like a light purple dot. Because the white ink will tend to blend with it. It won't leave like a pure white on top, if that makes sense. Okay, we'll put that off to the side. I hope I'm sharing some ideas that you guys like today, because seriously, yesterday I was like, I don't know what to share because I didn't have time to create on Monday. So we're gonna pull this off the grippy paper, and you can see there's the outline that it left. There's lots of ink around it. And there's nothing sticky on the back because it was just on this grippy stuff. Let me grab a paper towel. And we'll clean the surface off with you can either use water or you can use Stampin' Mist, or I'm going to use the Stampin' Mist because it's right here. And we'll just wipe up that surface, clean it up. So awesome. Okay, I'm going to move this to the back. We'll bring this back out. And I think I'm going to bring this back out. And we're going to peel this up. And when I'm peeling this, I'm not peeling it straight up because you can tend to tear your paper. I'm peeling it sort of at an angle so that it, you know, has an easier time coming up. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? So you have your silhouette. Your silhouette's also showing up in an area where you masked. And then you have these real light, almost like teaser silhouettes. They're shadows, right? They're more like a shadow. We're going to stamp our words. And this is that sentiment that I read to you, actually. Thinking of you brings joy to my heart. We're going to stamp that in this strip. Close that up. We're going to bring in a matching piece. I think I have to cut this down a little bit. A matching piece that is, oh, you know what? This one went to a different layer. Let's cut our card layers, shall we? Let's do that. So we're going to do our card base as a basic black portrait, okay? So we're going to do 4 1/4, cutting our 8 1/2 in half at 4 1/4. Then with this 1/2, we're going to score it 5 1/2, which is half of 11. We need a layer for the inside, and we're going to also put a white layer underneath this. So let's trim. Instead of 4 1/4, we're going to go to 4 1/8. So it's a little bit skinnier. And instead of 5 1/2, we're going to go to 5 3/8. A little bit shorter. We'll do 2 of those. 5 3/8. Now, this card does not use any like sparkly embellishments. Are you guys surprised? Rachel did not use any embellishments this time. Because the Wink of Stella and the speckly little white dots, I think, add just so much to it. I do have some twine on here, but I don't think the twine is necessary. You could literally do these cards with stamps, ink, and paper only. That is the beauty of this demonstration today, is you get gorgeous cards with stamps, ink, and paper. And of course you have tools that you use, but you don't need tons of extra products. I didn't even use dies. I could have, but I didn't. We're going to add this to our card next, and I think I have everything flat. I do on this one. So let me grab my seal. Here it is, seal adhesive. I don't even know why I flipped it, just because. Checking to make sure we're on the front of the card. It's blank on both sides, Rachel. Probably because, you know, sometimes you have a cut with your blades of your trimmer that cause a little bit of like bump there on the back side. We all have our things, don't we? I like that bump to be down. Oh, and before I put this on here, and it's a good thing we have our glass mat still. Hang on. I was going to stamp this. So let's bring this back in here because I want to use my Azure Afternoon one more time with this stamp. So we already stamped it in Azure when we were doing our real faint, shadowy images there. So we're going to do this again on the inside. And in fact, for this card, I'm going to just, because I haven't put this on the inside of my other one yet, I'm going to go ahead and do this one, like up here. Okay, so we have 2 layers we're working on right now. Let's just put them on the grippy paper stuff here. Grip, what's it called? Grip media? Media grip. And let's grab our cluster of 3. We'll just do a few up here, over here. So this way you have a couple ideas of different options here. I'm going to leave that one as is and just stamp one of these down here and one here. A little sparser up there. That's okay. So now we have 2 options. We have, you could have an inside layer like this, or you could have one like this. It doesn't matter because remember, again, that your branches can really go in any direction. So for this card that we're working on, as things are falling, I hope we're okay. Did you hear that? Something was falling in my room. Okay, so which one has the adhesive? I think it's this one. So this one we'll put on the inside of the card. This one I'm putting over by my finished card. Because I never put an inside layer in that, so that one's just going to sit over there for a minute. And then this one, you could either, excuse me, you could put it up on dimensionals to give it a bit of shadow, or we can lie it flat. What did I do with the other one? I did not bring it up on dimensionals, but I want to. Let's do that. So 4 should be enough. You can certainly put more on the back, like, you know, some of you might want to just not have a risk of anything popping up and off your, or not popping up and off, but you don't want to risk it looking flattish, right? So let's put a few more, and we'll just put those 2 in the middle. Lie this down like this on top of our white layer. And now you can tell that there's a shadow all the way across that height there. There's a shadow here, here. The other thing that you can bring in is some twine. This is our basic essential twine or something like that. It has 5 colors, and I actually have an extra white in there, but you can take and do a little bow with your twine. So just take and grab the end, do a loop, tie a bow, and then we'll use our snips, trim it off, tighten it, throw these back in the bag. So white or black would work with any of these cards pretty well. I'm going to use a glue dot now. And we'll roll that up like that. We're rolling it like a tiny burrito is what I've heard other demonstrators say. And we'll pick it up with our actual bow. And I think I'm just going to add it right here to the bend of that tree so that it's kind of right in the middle of that spot. And there you can see the sparkle on the card. So pretty. So that is one card. This one you can see more of the shadowy types of branches because I didn't do the blending brush as dark. So it's a lighter version, so you can see what that kind of creates. Then I want to share with you The daubers. I have the daubers. What did I use the daubers for? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I know what I used the daubers for. So I have this black ink on this dauber. This is my tuxedo black ink. So on another card that I was creating, I took, and I'm just going to show you with this piece here, I took some masking paper, or again, this is when I had my Post-it notes with me, and I just stuck down like a little bit here, put my ink next to me, and just kind of went like this. And it made it look as if the stamp had a ground to it too, but it didn't. It just blended into the rest of the silhouette. This image is from Prairie Grass, which has been super popular. You could stamp this in any color and it just looks amazing. Stamp it white on a dark paper, stamp it black on a light paper, stamp it onto designer papers for fun imagery in the background. But yeah, I just used my dauber for that, peeled this away, and then instead of having that image floating, my prairie grass is grounded. So that's what I used my dauber for. I'm looking around my table here. I'm seeing if there's any products that I forgot to share with you before I show you the other cards. I do want to tell you that there's a difference between these two. Can you see? Actually, I'm going to show you between that one and this one, because the other one has the ground on it. But you can see that one looks darker than the other. And that is because I did use my stamp positioner tool that is no longer available. But the Stamparatus, is that what we called it? Oh my gosh, I don't even remember the name of it, you guys. This guy here. So it's no longer available, but you can use any stamp positioning tool, and that way you can stamp multiple times in the same spot and get a darker, deeper image. So I did do that with the prairie grass because this to me just seemed a little light. So I did use that tool, but there are other stamp positioners out there that you can purchase. And I'm not gonna name any because I don't have any of those that I promote in my website, but just look up stamp positioner, you can find different kinds. Okay. Oh, let me show you this card. So here we go. Here's that finished card. So this one's using the Prairie Grass stamp set. It's not a new stamp set that just got released. It's been around for a couple months, but it's gorgeous. It's perfect for sympathy, empathy cards. You're not alone. I'm here for you. I did the same types of patterning on this, except of course I added that ground with the dauber and the masking down there. So this masking was done by punching into my, oh gosh, where did it go now? Is this the one? There was one that I punched. I think this is it. There was one that I punched and I laid it against the paper and I punched it. This might be it. That's the thing there it is. Yep. So then you punch it out and you get your finger in there. Somehow. There are lines on the back sides, by the way, so you can help separate it, but there's my separation. Stick it down, and then you have a masked little sun or a masked moon, depending on what colors you use in the sky. Probably should have had my lighter colors around the sun, but, or put my sun lower if this is where the lighter colors are. But anyways, it's a sunset or a sunrise, depending on what you think. Anyways, we have some Timid Tiger first. I did Timid Tiger throughout the upper half, and then I did some Cajun Craze up here and through here. Then down here, Cajun Craze? Yes, and then down here I used Crushed Curry, which is a deep yellow. So we have 2 oranges and a deep yellow. Then the extra prairie grass branch imagery was done with Timid Tiger in the background here. And you can see as it goes into the darker areas, it kind of fades a bit. So it's a fun technique to use to give that shadowy or silhouette-y effect that you don't want to have shown off too much, right? Just stamp it same color into the same color, but make sure that that color is dark, right? Over here is where I have Timid Tiger lighter. Over here is where I have it darker with the Cajun Craze. So it disappears more depending on how dark your color is. I stamped first with the black, then put the mask over, and that's why this guy is still in existence inside the circle. These back here were stamped on top of the circle, and then the circle was peeled away, and that's why you don't see them. On the inside, I did Timid Tiger imagery for that, and then I attached my bow down here. This does not have any dimensionals on it, but my next card does. So this next one, Sharon Armstrong helped to design. This is called Happy Place, and it's such a fun stamp set. This one is another kind of any time of year. Well, not really any time of year. Yeah, any time of year if you live in the tropical areas, because you are. It doesn't say that it's like a holiday one, right? It's just basically a sentiment stamp set that can be used for different occasions. So even though our catalog typically is thought of as the holiday catalog at this time of the year, the September through December catalog, and we used to call it the holiday catalog, it has a few stamp sets in it, like the two that I shared with you that are not holiday-ish, okay? Happy retirement, happy place, happy life, happy days. You could even use this for scrapbooking. If you're a scrapbooker, this is going to be perfect for titles. And do you see how small this looks here? It's a huge stamp, you guys. It's much bigger than what you see on the front of the case. Here's my finished card with that one, and I did use dimensionals on the back side of this white layer here, but not behind the black and not behind this layer, which is mounted onto the black. So this is the one that I actually did my inking on, my masking, my stamping, and then I stuck it down after it was inked up and all of that stuff. I put it onto a black layer. So it's separate from the black. I do have Wink of Stella in a little bit bigger droplets here and there, just a bit more gold. And then there's a gold layer, a real thin gold foil layer behind this strip that says birthday on it, which I just stuck on the top. The colors here are Crushed Curry, which is that yellow. I also used Coastal Cabana, which is a greenish blue. And then I used, what's one? This is Pretty in Pink. So more tropical-y kind of colors. And that is that card. And I didn't do anything on the inside of that one. So those are the 3 different cards. I think I've covered all of the products that I used. Yay. Okay, good. Phew. Any questions? Oh, where did I get the gripper pad? So the gripper pad is that Tim Holtz media grip, and that can be found in my favorite extras. So if you go to my website at stampyourartout.com and click on shop, then go down to my favorite extras. I do have a link to it in my Amazon store area. So basically you click on that link and I get a little affiliate kickback, but I do love it. I only put the products in there that I love. And if you see something that I've shared from Amazon and I don't have it in my favorite extras, let me know. Other questions that I might have missed? I'm going to go ahead and, oh, you know what? I just saw something. I'm going to share this with you too. Hang on. Let's see if I can go back to it. Oh, yay. I think this is in the mini catalog. Okay. I'm going to go back to it again. It's called Standing Together. It's in the mini catalog, I believe. But I love how pink they have it in the front. There it is. Okay, so in the mini catalog on pages 4 to 5, or actually on 4. I think it's only on 4. Anyways, they talk about the stamp set called Love and Courage. It's to help send partial, like when you purchase it, I think it's a couple bucks, $3 are donated to breast cancer organizations throughout the world. It depends on which area you're from. So we have, like an organization in the US, we have one in the UK and things like that, right? And so Stampin' Up! Donates for research, breast cancer research. Yay. Okay, let me go back to the screen real quick so I can see if I can see any questions coming along. Let's give a big hand to Trisha Josephs, who moderated, especially moderated for me when I was not ready until like the last minute. Bless your heart, Trisha. I appreciate that. So new products, make sure that you're checking all that out today. Upcoming lives, this coming Friday, I will be live. My husband does not know. He's moving his office space up to my office space for a while. And he doesn't know that I'm gonna be live, but we'll just deal with it somehow. Maybe I'll send him downstairs temporarily, but I'm gonna do a live on Friday at 10 a.m. Central Time, and I'm gonna do a show and share because I've been receiving a lot of goodies again, and I wanna share them with you. So I will share all of that with you on that day. Wednesday, we'll be back at our regular time at 11 a.m. Central Time, and I hope to be back in gear with being organized again. I'm so sorry about today just being haphazard and no blog post connected to it, but hopefully you'll all forgive me. If you are new to my lives, I love it when you chime in. There were a couple people who chimed in on the last live, and less and less over the time because I used to put people's comments up kind of like in on the screen. But I love to see when you're new. I love to see when you're watching for the first time alive, but even though you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, please share with me. I love finding out more about you, my viewers, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, everybody. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.